Well, I mean, people could accuse me of the whole, where I say once saved, always saved, is a false doctrine. It's an idealistic, twisted understanding that actually keeps people from applying themselves to the cross. And the Word of God says that we're to work out our salvation with fear and trembling. What for, if we've got it? Once saved, we're always saved. We're good. Now people get into debates. Were they ever saved? That's all intellectual mind twisting. God didn't get into this complicated, going this, are you once saved? Are you truly saved? It's very simple. Salvation is impugned upon you if you've held your faith to the end from the beginning, as Hebrews 3:6 talks about. There are those who can get cut off, the same way the people of Israel got cut off. They could be grafted back in. It's showing you easily that you're in something. You can be kicked out for your arrogance if you lose faith, and you can be grafted back in, which Romans 11 describes that whole Jewish olive tree and explains how it's an if-then. A covenant is a deal. The new covenant is the same kind of a deal, just like the old covenant was. It's if you do this, then I'll do this. If you don't do this, you don't get this. We've watered it down and think we got the prize. We sin. Okay, I'm sorry, Lord. And you just go on and think you can keep doing that. It doesn't. That doctrine is bad because it does not allow people to be transformed by endeavoring and seeing themselves and giving that sin over to God to die and to be transformed into his likeness. And that's why, once saved, always saved, I will stand on it, and will fight tooth and nail for anybody who wants to argue. But it's a matter of semantics, really, where people are. But ultimately, the people who really hold fast to it, they just want to believe that they've got it. They don't want to feel like they, and then they make their own cognitive assumptions, which is one of the biggest errors of Christianity, is assumption. Everything is assumption. Well, why would he do this? Oh, why would, making an assumption of everything. Look, you're missing out on 3/4 of the Bible if you say, oh, God is love, he won't do that. Well, he did that plenty of times. He raised up Pharaoh purposely to be an object of destruction. He raised up, Nebuchadnezzar to be his war club, which was, he was supposed to be anti-God, but God used him as a vessel. God raised up Cyrus, a pagan, to be a glorified vessel, which he was of Persia. People don't understand God and they make their assumptions on God. But if you truly want to know God, you're going to have to really throw that stuff aside and really seek him with fear and trembling. And the fear is an awe of understanding. The beginning of wisdom and knowledge is the fear of the Lord. So you're going to have a fear, a certain kind of respect and understanding that he's the big boss. He hasn't changed from the Old Testament. Without Yeshua, you're going to escape that same fiery God who will blow you away in the snap of a finger. But that helps you to understand how much more glorious and and beautiful Yeshua is and what he does for us. But you got to embrace it. You can't just say, hey, I believe in Jesus. Jesus is more than a man. He's the Word. He's the truth. When you're saying I embrace Yeshua, I embrace the truth. But then you deny the truth by saying, oh, no, it's not like that, it's like this. So you're denying him. They don't understand that's how you deny Yeshua. You don't come straight out and say, yes, I deny him now. No, it's done in your engagement towards the truth of God. How your actions are, how you live your life in seeing yourself. If there's certain things going on and you brush it over, you don't want to see it, or, oh, he forgives me, that's okay. That's all denying the truth. That's denying Yeshua. They don't understand that. So there is something that certain people will call a heresy, and I call it a heresy back. And then you got to look at the word heresy and what it even really means. It means another opinion or something like that. But the bottom line is, God is not looking for anyone to have their opinion their way. That's why the true worshipers worship in spirit and truth, not just the truth. You can't just read the Bible and think you've got it. You need the guy who wrote the Bible to give you his mind on what he meant of the Bible. Not some other commentator's idea, because if he's wrong, just like I could be wrong, then you're going wrong too. My whole thing is to get before God, ask him, seek him, and see how it all works together. The key about the cross, as it's building us to know him, is that it's building us to understand his overall purpose, his overall vision. And then when we see and understand God's overall purpose and vision, then we understand how we can fit into that. And that's what I've always said in Christianity is incomplete. They always say, oh, God has a purpose for your life. I say it's incomplete. God has a purpose for your life in the big picture purpose of what he's doing. But you cannot understand what your purpose is if you don't understand what the big picture purpose is of what he's doing. You know, so these are key factors that people need to understand. I think that's just one specific that I could talk about.